Hello, everyone, and welcome to the fifth episode of the Basketball Maestros. We got some new change on the show. Daniel is now the co host. Brody is out, to say the least. Don't want to go too in depth with it. Some stuff behind the scenes. But yeah, we got a good show ahead today. We got some Lakers talk, revisiting the Frank meter. We got some viewer topic discussions, Giannis Jokic MVP talk. And then we're going to be doing fantasy basketball updates for the first time and then game picks at the end. All right, that should be good. All right. First thing on the board is Lakers rant. The Lakers coming off a 130-108 loss to the Boston Celtics yesterday. Tatum dropped 37 and 11.
Yeah.
Schroeder chipped in with 21, 6 and 6. Marcus Smart with 22, 8 and 6. Horford with 18, 4 and 4. Just by those numbers, you can tell that it was that kind of night. AD at 31, but it didn't really feel like he impacted the game that much. LeBron in his first game back had 23 and 6. Westbrook 12, 4 and 6, and that was about it in terms of scoring. So the Lakers now fall to 8 and 9 on the year. A lot of panic among Laker fans. I see a lot of fire Vogel, even though that's been happening for a couple games now, but I feel like it's more prevalent now. And when watching the game last night, I didn't really notice any bad rotations personally, but I just think once a team fights back on us, like regain the lead after we have like a double-digit lead, once they take the lead back, we tend to show no fight whatsoever and kind of just give up. Because in that third quarter, Boston was just getting every offensive rebound. I think at this point it just comes down to effort and urgency. Teams are out hustling us and they just want it more, quite simply. And it's hard to watch because it just seems like nobody on the Lakers gives a damn right now. And you kind of expect more with a team that's expected to be at the NBA Finals at the end of the year. But yeah, from my takeaways, it's just coming down to effort on the defensive end and actually wanting to win basketball games for me personally.
Yeah, it just doesn't look like it just simply doesn't look like a championship team now. I think this team will, if this keeps up, I think we'll make the playoffs because there's no way a team with AD, LeBron, and Westbrook is going to miss the playoffs. But I think it's going to be kind of like last year. We're just going to lose in the first round. There's no we're not going to go far. And, you know, I just need to see more urgency from, our star players, really. Yes, AD's scoring 31, but like you said, did it feel like he scored 31? No, it doesn't feel like he's being, dominant like he should be. Losing to a team like the Celtics and, obviously letting players like Marcus Smart and, Schroeder to put up those numbers. I mean, I feel like they could put up those numbers, but that's not what we're used to seeing out of them. So it's just like you said, it's just effort. It really comes down to it. And I don't think, firing Frank is really going to do anything because, like Tristan Thompson said a couple days ago, if you need a coach to motivate you, then why are you in the NBA? So it just I really agree with that. And it's just I just don't see it from Westbrook. And I hate that we always single out Westbrook, but it's just him and Melo last night got into had a lot of fouls. So it could have impacted it a little bit, but it's just, I don't know. I just want to see more out of them. Westbrook shooting 5 for 13 is obviously not what you want. And THT had a bad game last night. Didn't make a shot from the field. So I mean, maybe it was just a couple bad games, but it's like what we've been seeing from the Lakers. So, kind of since LeBron got there, just like these games that it's just wow, that there's just no effort on the defensive end. Like
Yeah.
when LeBron's not on the court, it's like the team's lost, and maybe that comes with LeBron being on your team, but you just kind of hope our bench players can like play basketball normally and just give effort and just I don't know. It's just it sucks because we all hyped up this team coming in. I hyped it up. You really just you want more out of them, and we're not getting it right now. So it's just really disappointing as a Laker fan. Hopefully, this changes, but right now it's just looking like we're a first round exit.
Yeah, obviously with some bad losses like against the Timberwolves and OKC twice, and now losing to Boston. I was early to say, yeah, we need to get Frank out of there, but I was really thinking like logically instead of emotionally. Who possibly out there could replace Frank? No one on the market right now. You say Fizdale, but like, is Fizdale really going to change anything, even though he's an assistant? It's just, I think, I hate when all the players and coaches say this, that it's going to take time, but like, there's just games that you shouldn't lose, and we've lost many of those games. And it's just taken away. You really see the loss of KCP, Caruso, and players like that, where we really don't have any perimeter defenders. Like Bazemore was supposed to be that, but he's god awful, and his defense isn't really that good, at least to start the year. And Ariza's out, but he's older, and who knows if he can stay in front of younger wings, for example, like Tatum. Like, would Ariza really slow down Tatum? I highly doubt it. And then THT was hyped up by Frank Vogel and Rob that he's going to be that defensive stopper. He's going to take the star player on each opponent team, and I saw multiple times against the Celtics where he was getting burned, and he was on Tatum for a couple possessions, and he got burned too. I don't see really much defensive promise. Like, I was maybe expecting a slight step back, but at least still be in the top 10 because Frank's a defensive-minded coach. But you really don't see that at all. And I think at this point our team's really going to have to rely on our offense and outscoring teams at this rate. It's just we have lots of players on this team like Malik and Wayne Ellington, where teams really target them in pick and rolls and post ups and stuff like that. I just think there's a lot of flaws with our roster and our schemes defensively, where I can't really see us being that great defensively as we have been in years past, really.
Yeah, no, this team's defense is just atrocious to say the least. And I don't see it getting better. I mean, Avery is kind of, in my eyes, looks like he's taken like a little bit of a step back. AD is like scared to guard like the star player of another team, so it's just like Westbrook's kind of a liability sometimes because I just feel like I don't see effort from him, and it's just like it always just comes down to effort, but like we just don't have that elite defender, and I simply just don't think Ariza's gonna be it. I don't know how old he is, but I know he's up there, and it's just like I just don't think we have that player who's just gonna lock down, someone on the wings. So I mean, it's just, and I don't think we can at this rate right now. I don't think we're outscoring teams like really, but it's really. I hope it gets better, with Nunn and maybe Ariza. Maybe something changes. I mean, that's all we can really hope for now. But yeah, it's going to be a very interesting next couple of months. And like you said earlier, you have to really think about it for all the Laker fans who are saying fire Frank. Think about it. What coach right now on the market is going to change the situation? And to me, no one. So Frank's kind of our best option right now. And if you watch last game, if you watched a couple of the games past that we've lost, I mean, I wouldn't really blame it all on Frank. It's easy to blame the coach, but like we've said, it just comes down to effort, and Lakers haven't been showing it that much early in the season.
This may sound very stupid, but like honestly, I kind of don't understand why we didn't sign a guy like James Ennis, a guy that was rumored to be coming to the Lakers. He's even made tweets about it, about saying, "Come on, sign me. I can play defense." But like, I think a player like that could really help. He's still relatively young, I believe. I think he's like mid-20s maybe. And I think he's a really good defender. He can shoot the three ball pretty good too. And like Austin Reeves, he's been, I guess, a spotlight, but I'd rather have James Ennis than him at this point. Yeah, Austin Reeves is probably a better shooter than James Ennis, but I think we have more offense than defense, and I think James Ennis probably would have fit that need more, especially with the wing position, but what do I know? I'm not the GM, but
Yeah, it says that James Ennis is 31. So
never mind.
I mean, I think it's perfect because we're already the retirement home. So like, just why not bring another older player onto the team? I mean, I'm thinking, yeah, just we just have to pray, man. Pray things get better. But yeah, Lakers are yikes. Start of the season, basically.
Yeah, so in the midst of a 5-game road trip, we got Detroit, New York, Indiana, and yeah, that is it. And then we're back home against Sacramento. It's going to be interesting to see how we wrap up this road trip. You would like to see at least
3-0.
Yeah, you would like to see 3-0 to at least end this road trip on a high note. We played Milwaukee really close, but nobody could stop Giannis, as Daniel said before the games tipped off. And he dropped 47 on us, I believe. And AD really didn't stop Giannis at all, which was surprising in my eyes. Legit, no one stopped him. And we made really dumb switches where we would switch with Giannis pick and rolls, and we'd get like THT on him. I never understood why we'd switch those pick and rolls, but that's besides the point. Transitioning to the Frank meter. It's been a little while since we revisited. Right now, I have Frank at an 8, damn near firing. And I saw a clip of the Milwaukee game. Start of the fourth quarter, Frank put out a unit of
I forgot about that.
Rondo, Malik, Wayne, Bazemore, and DJ.
Oh, I forgot about that lineup.
Dude, legit.
Oh,
Guys who cannot create their own shots. Malik, I guess, is more of a shot creator. Rondo damn near has no offense. Wayne's just a spot-up guy. Bazemore is abysmal on offense right now. And DJ, I don't even need to say anything about DJ. But especially the start of the fourth quarter, you're putting out that unit, which is just Jesus Christ. And you can at least get like Melo or AD or Westbrook, at least one of those three, to help at least maintain the game while people get rest. But yeah, that lineup was really bad to start the final quarter, which made no sense. But as we alluded to, even though Frank is really questionable and I have him at an 8 right now, it's just I really don't see him getting fired, even though many Laker fans may want him to. It's just he's just made really dumb decisions in this young year so far.
For the Frank meter, I'm probably at a 6 or 7. I would like to see him gone, obviously, but let's think about it like realistically here, logically. You're not going to fire a guy like we're only like not even 20 games into the season. We're nearing 20, but not there yet. You're not going to fire a guy that early into the season, no matter how bad they are in the NBA. So he's not going to get fired yet. Now the reason he's kind of at a 7 is if this keeps up with like questionable rotations and like just the defensive scheme not there, I definitely do see him getting fired in the offseason. So that's more of like a reasonable time to fire him. Definitely not midseason, especially with this team. I don't think any coach, like Matt mentioned, on the market is really gonna change anything. Because mostly right now, like the flaws are just effort. I wouldn't say like we lost because of rotations these past couple of games. Did they contribute? Yes, but was effort more of like a problem or like the main problem? Yes. So yeah, I'd say I'm at a 6 or 7. Will he get fired in the offseason? Probably. Hell yeah. If this keeps up, yeah, he's gone. I don't see him making it past this offseason.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep an eye on as we're near the midway point of the year. I'd say around All-Star break is like really like a pretty good sample size of what we'll have on this team. So
Oh yeah, better be.
yeah, so that will do it for the Frank meter. Transitioning now to you, the viewers' topics. On the Instagram, I posted a questions thingy where you guys could throw in your suggestions of what we should talk about. So first thing is I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I'll say Ted Rosas. He said, talk about my Suns best in the West besides Golden State. Yeah, honestly, the Suns have been really good. They're on an 11-game winning streak right now. They started off pretty slow in the first couple of games, and Chris Paul didn't really look like himself at the beginning of the year. But, yeah, they've been rolling on this 11-game winning streak. They beat Dallas twice on the, like, stupid back-to-back homestand, whatever things. And for me personally, going into this year, I didn't really think the Suns were going to be that successful like they were last year going to the finals, because you got a whole bunch of teams now that are healthy. With you got Utah, you got the Lakers, assuming they play better. You got Golden State that's now up and coming. You got good amount of competition coming into this year, barring injuries. But yeah, the Suns have been really good, and they're gonna be a really good team in the West. But personally, when it comes to the postseason, this year I could see them possibly. I think their ceiling this year, if everyone is healthy, I think second round maybe, but I really don't think they'll be this successful in the postseason this time around.
Yeah, the Suns are like just kind of showing us that, I think that they're, that top 4 seed in the West maybe. If you look at the like winning streak they've had, I mean, like it's just teams that you'd expect them to beat, and
Mm-hmm.
it's really what they're just taking care of business right now, and that's why they're on this impressive win streak. Recently, Booker and Chris Paul in the clutch have just been kind of just winning them games, and that's what's happening. Coming up is really where we're gonna kind of see, are the Suns real? They have Denver tomorrow. Then they go on a 4-game road trip, and 3 games is at Cleveland, at New York, and then at Brooklyn. So I mean, those are definitely 3 teams that are pretty good in the East as of right now. So those are 3 tests, and then 2 of their next 3 are against Golden State. So this next 2 weeks are really gonna show us are the Suns for real. If they win all these games, and I'm not saying they will, but like if they do, like that is they're looking good. Now if their ceiling, I'd say Western Conference Finals maybe. Um, you know, I think the Suns, definitely have a real shot at it. Last year they went on that run of the finals, and I am one of those people who think that if teams were healthier, I definitely don't see them making the finals.
Yes.
Maybe not even the first round, but we're not going to get into that. But yeah, it's just obviously they did get lucky. I'm not saying they didn't deserve it, because they definitely still beat the teams they needed to beat. Um, I see Western Conference Finals. It just kind of like, is everything going to play out in their favor again, and are they going to win? Are they going to win those clutch games? Are they going to step up in the clutch. And so far they have this season, but can they do it against the best teams in the West? I think they can. But realistically, I don't think they make it past. I don't know if they could beat the Warriors. When Clay comes back, I don't know how good they'll be against the top teams in the West. But we'll just have to see. I can't wait to see how the rest of the season plays out for them. But right now they are really impressive, and I think they could definitely finish top 4 in the West.
Yeah, I think top 4 for the foreseeable future is probably doable for them, since assuming they keep this core together. My only issue with the Suns is that they pay damn Ayton, dude. Pay him. If Aaron Gordon, or not Aaron Gordon, if MPJ can get a bag, Ayton can definitely get a bag. You extend Landry. Extend Landry Shamet, the guy you just got probably a couple months ago, but you can't extend Ayton. Like, Jesus Christ. If I assume in the offseason they'll probably do it then, but like at the deadline, why not? You're delaying the inevitable. But I swear to God, if the Suns don't pay him, Jesus Christ. But that's my only issue with the Suns. Pay Ayton, and we'll all be good. Moving on to my man AJ. He said, who will finish with a better record, Suns or the Warriors? So right now, these two teams are at the top of the West. Personally, I'll take the Warriors. Yeah, I'll go Warriors. I think the Warriors just have more all-around depth in the roster. Their bench has been really good so far this year with players like Damian Lee, Gary Payton Jr., players like that. And you have Steph. Clay's going to come back. And you have Draymond. And then Wiseman eventually coming back too. I just think when those teams, or when those players come back, they'll add more firepower to the roster. I just think the Warriors just have more capability of like blowing out teams on any given night. But I think for the good part of the year, Phoenix and Golden State are going to be going back and forth and be really close in terms of record. But I'll give the edge to Golden State.
Yeah, I am. I don't have to give it to Golden State as well. I'm kind of all in. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of all in on Golden State. That game they had against the Cavs a couple of nights ago was like, it's just insane that they went on that kind of a run. And some can argue that Curry's playing even better than what he was when he was in that MVP seasons a couple years ago, and it is just insane that that man can enter the fourth quarter with like 20 and then come out with 45. Like, it is just insane how he can play. And I think, like you said, the Warriors have a better bench. They don't even have Wiseman and Clay back. Draymond's just the smart player you want on the floor. And it's just, I think that if they can keep it up, obviously they'll have a better record than the Suns. But I'm expecting a little bit of a fall off, not like a crazy fall off. But, they'll lose like a couple games here and there, like any team would. But I expect the same for the Suns too. So yeah, I think it's going to be the Warriors, but I don't think the Suns will be very far behind them.
Yeah, I agree. I think the top 3 in terms of seeding for the West, I personally think Golden State, Phoenix, and Utah will probably be those 3 at the top at the end of the year, because those 3 teams are usually really good in terms of regular season, and I don't really see that changing because you still got like Dallas, Denver, Clippers, Memphis, Portland, Lakers. Still, those are probably all going to be up and down when it comes close to the end of the year. But yeah, I think Phoenix, Golden State will definitely be really close in terms of record. But yes, I think, as we both said, Golden State will probably be better once those 2 players come back. Moving on to Paul, he says, Kawhi Leonard joining the Clippers was the beginning of his career fall off. This is a kind of interesting one. I've really thought about it since Kawhi has really joined the Clippers. I feel like it's kind of crazy to say, but I feel like he's not really getting that much spotlight, even though he's in LA. I feel like in Toronto, he was a more dominant player. I don't really know how to like gauge it, but like I feel like he was more successful in Toronto, and it's just with his whole finals run and winning in Toronto was a big deal. Since he's came to LA, he hasn't really had much to show for it, blowing 3-1 lead to the Denver Nuggets, the infamous moment where the Clippers were the same old Clippers. But last year, I think if Kawhi was healthy, I think that was their best chance to win a championship. Because honestly, if Kawhi was there, I think they're beating Phoenix and going to the finals. But that's just me. But I don't think Kawhi's falling off yet. It's kind of hard to say because he's still injured, and you'd like to see what he looks like when he comes back from his injury. But I think we wait to gauge how his career is going to go when we see how he plays after his injury. But I think it's certainly interesting to think about how his career will go in the Clippers.
Has Kawhi fallen off? I don't. I just have to I have to get back. I don't think since joining the Clippers, I don't think he's fallen off because if you really look at his numbers, he hasn't like fallen off at all. They're kind of the same as they were in his year in Toronto. Obviously, the reason I would think someone would bring up that question is just because he hasn't accomplished as much. Like you said, his 2 years here. First year blew that lead to the Nuggets. Second year, gets hurt in the playoffs, and it's like I don't think he's really fallen off. I mean, obviously, you'd like to see him win that playoff series against the Nuggets, but they ultimately didn't. But there's really been nothing that kind of tells me that he's fallen off. I still think he's an elite defender. I still think when you need a bucket, he can go get you one. And you just wish that obviously without Kawhi, Paul George played really well, but you kind of just wish that he played that good as he is now when Kawhi was healthy. Obviously, it's easier when you don't have another superstar along you, but George just looks a lot more just efficient that since his past couple of years with Kawhi. But one of the main things with Kawhi is when he won that championship with the Raptors. It was an amazing run to get out of the East. I think he deserved to win every game out of the East, but when it came to the finals, I am one of those people who felt like if the Warriors were healthier, that they would have lost that series. I'm still not taking anything away from Kawhi because it was still, a great run. He played amazing, but I just don't think the Raptors, quite matched up with the Warriors, especially with KD playing. And obviously, KD didn't play at all really that series. So, I'm not saying he got bailed out or anything, but I just don't think they win that. But no, I don't think Kawhi's fallen off. I don't think his career's taken a downfall. He's just kind of playing the same as he was in Toronto. He just doesn't have a championship to show for it.
Yeah, I think to honestly for this question, it's kind of like a wait and see with his whole injury thing if he even comes back this year. I hope he comes back because it'd be interesting to see how the Clipper team fares with Kawhi there for a full playoff run, assuming they stay in the playoff hunt. But it just comes down to if he has enough time to come back or if he's even willing to come back this year. But yeah, he's still a really good player, obviously, a really good defender, probably one of the best defenders we've ever seen. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how he comes back and how he plays off his, I believe, ACL injury. But yeah. And the last question coming in from Vance, he says, what states/cities should have an NBA team or what teams should be removed? This is a good question. I kind of thought about it. I think the two cities that stand out to me are Las Vegas and Seattle. Seattle's been a team that everyone wants back a lot since the Supersonics. And I think Las Vegas, similar to the Raiders, I think if there were to be an expansion team, I think it would have to be either Seattle or Vegas, because I think Vegas is just a really big market that you can take advantage of, and I'm sure a lot of people would go see those Vegas games. And same with Seattle. Seattle's been a place where people have wanted a team back there, and I think if that were to happen, that'd be really cool for the league, and I think everyone would love to see that. And like giving an NBA team to like a place that doesn't have jack, like the Midwest or like something crazy like that. Like, for example, if Boise had an NBA team, I would be at every single game. That would be awesome to just have a NBA team, like a professional team in a like college-ish like state or area, because I think there would be a lot of turnout if you put an NBA team in like a college central like city or area.
Yeah, I think you really hit it spot on. I mean, obviously, everyone loved when the Supersonics were in Seattle. That would be a great place to have a expansion team, and I think you hit it well. Vegas as well. Obviously, in terms of winning the move for the Raiders so far, but in terms of like the city in general, like who wouldn't want to spend like a couple days in Vegas, watch an NBA game and kind of just chill there. It's a great idea for the NBA. NFL and NHL have moved there. There's already a college team there as well for football, or a university. I think Vegas is a great relocation city, and maybe other cities. Pittsburgh, they don't have. Do they have a? They don't have an NBA team, right? Nothing near there.
No.
Pittsburgh would be a great one. You already have the Steelers. You have I forgot their baseball team name,
Pirates.
but the Pirates. I know they're awful, but it's okay. Maybe if you want another Canadian team, you can go to like Vancouver. Those are possible relocation teams, and those would definitely be interesting ones to me because like Matt said, you don't want some team that's like in the middle of nowhere, obviously. And it just sucks for those cities, but it's just kind of the truth and what the NBA wants. They don't want to go to some random Midwest team. They want to go to high markets like Vegas or Seattle, or places where there's big cities and that you'll get ticket sales. But yeah, those are probably my top four.
Yeah, I think it'll happen at some point. Whether it be, I think
It will.
Vegas or Seattle will probably be the choices that they'll go with. But it's just a matter of which team happens first, honestly. But that'd be really cool to witness an NBA expansion team, personally. But yeah, it'll be something to look out for. All right, moving on to the two probably biggest MVP favorites right now. We got Giannis and Jokic. Giannis has looked really good this year. His jump shot looks a lot better. And obviously coming off that huge performance against the Lakers, he followed it up with a 21-19-7 game against the OKC Thunder. He shot it a little poorly, but still crazy numbers. And right now on the year, he's averaging 28, 12, and 6, which, again, really great numbers. If he can really keep that jump shot going and keep it constant, I think it's going to be really, really beneficial for him, and it's going to make him basically unstoppable, because then you're going to have to start respecting his jump shot, and it's just going to be even more harder to guard him or stop him. But right now, he's probably my pick for MVP, but realistically, I don't think he'll probably get it again. since he's already won it, but I still think he's going to be in the conversation for MVP with those great numbers he has so far.
Yeah, Giannis is playing really well. I'm gonna say, my pick is gonna be it's Jokic. I think, he won it last year, and if you just look at it, he's kind of playing the same. He's averaging 26, 13, and 6 right now. So, he's kind of, I think, he's a better passer than Giannis. So I feel like he's just a better playmaker all around. And compared to last year, I know it's not that big of, the same as sample size, but, Jokic is shooting better from three right now. Last year he was 38%. This year he's 41, and it's not crazy improvement, but it just shows that you have to respect his 3-point shot a little bit more. And you have a center who's already 6'11". He's passing like a point guard. He can post up and score. He can shoot from pretty much anywhere in the court, and that's a very dangerous player right there. I feel like if he keeps it up, I think he definitely could win MVP. And something I always ask for someone who's going to win MVP is like, how would their team do without them? And I definitely do think that without Jokic, the Nuggets would definitely not be as good as they are, or as feared as they are. I don't. Nuggets are like, what are they, like 9-6 or something? There's something there's something like that. But yeah, I think that's definitely the top pick right now, and yeah, I think he can repeat again as MVP because plays just been kind of the same as last year.
Yeah, I'm looking at Giannis's 3-point stats right now. He's only shooting 29%, which really doesn't feel like it.
Definitely doesn't feel like it.
Because against the Lakers, he was drilling everything. Of course, it's usually how it
Yep.
goes. But right now, he's taking about 4.6 if you want to round it up to 5, and making about 1. But last year, he was averaging 3.6 threes, so he's taking at least one more 3 a game, which is honestly good for him. He needs to work on his jumper because come playoff time, teams are going to pack the paint and it's going to make him shoot more. So I think it's going to be beneficial throughout the regular season to keep working on his shot. And if he can really get it to like 34, 35% to make it more respectable, I think that'll really help a lot. But yeah, I think it's going to be very close with the MVP race. It's ultimately just going to come down to who people like more. I think it's usually how it goes. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the MVP race goes throughout the year. But yeah, it's something we'll keep an eye on as the year rolls on. But since a whole lot of gang shit's happened, we're probably going to have to fast forward to game picks. All right, so a decent amount of games. Reflecting back on last episode's game picks, I missed 3 games. Actually, 4 games. Washington at Charlotte. Washington lost, so I got that wrong. The Pacers somehow lost to Detroit, which I really don't know how that's even possible, but they lost. Orlando with another upset at Madison Square Garden, and something I felt that was going to happen, but I thought the Knicks would have a better performance than they did last time against the Magic. But watching the game, same thing happened where the Magic went on a huge run to end the game, and they end up pulling 2 games out of Madison Square Garden, which is pretty crazy. And then of course, I took the Lakers at Milwaukee. A lot closer than I anticipated. But Giannis dropping 47 on us really didn't help us. And if we even somehow won that game with Giannis dropping that many points on us, that would have been really lucky. But yeah, those are the games I missed. And if you want to talk about yours.
I'm pretty sure I missed 2. I can remember. I know I missed the Washington one. Charlotte. Just kind of just won that game. No, I missed 3.
Oh, the Bulls lost. That's right. Portland won that one. So I got that one
Um,
wrong.
yeah. The Pacers losing to Detroit is just more just it's just disappointing. I don't know if the Pacers can make the plan while they're playing, but for another time. And then the Magic with another upset. It's just something about the Knicks, I guess. Can't be the Magic. That's something you really can't predict. But had Milwaukee beating Lakers. Just Giannis dropping 47 just felt normal for me. And the Blazers beating Chicago. Chicago kind of blew that lead. How? But yeah, those are my game picks.
All right. Now moving on to Monday's slate of games. Nets at Cavs. I got Brooklyn. I just think Brooklyn's better, simply. Hornets at Wizards again. I'm going to stick with the Wizards still. I believe Dinwiddie had a really bad shooting game the first time, so I think the Wizards will actually pull this one out. And I decided to do a little upset pick here. OKC at Atlanta. I'm taking OKC. But
You're laughing at it.
OKC, they played Milwaukee really close last night, which was surprising for me. So I'm taking that energy to Atlanta. OKC going to pull it off. Rockets at Boston. I got Boston. Rockets atrocious. Stay away from me. Indiana at Chicago. Indiana's been really disappointing, and I haven't really seen anything lately to make me pick them in this situation, especially against the Bulls. Orlando at Milwaukee. I got Milwaukee, even though they played a close game at with the Thunder last time, but I still got Milwaukee. Timberwolves at Pelicans, two garbage teams, but as I said before, I'm never taking the Pelicans in a game pick, so I got the T-Wolves. Phoenix at Spurs. Phoenix was just better, so I got Phoenix. Grizzlies at Jazz. I feel like this one will be kind of close, but I got Utah at home since they got home court. And then lastly, Sixers at Sacramento. Luke Walton should be fired. Don't know how he's not yet after getting absolutely pummeled by the Raptors, but Sixers, I got in that one.
Yeah, and just as a reminder, we go for upsets here. I have Cleveland beating Brooklyn. I just feel like Cleveland, might pull a game out here. It's definitely possible, and I think the last game they played was blown lead to Golden State before this game, before they play again. So I feel like come out kind of pissed that they lost that game. So maybe beat the Nets. I'm gonna go with Wizards over Charlotte. This time flipped. Charlotte's coming in. Washington. I feel like Wizards pull it out. I'm going with Atlanta over OKC. No explanation. Boston over Houston. No explanation. Chicago over Indiana. The Pacers are just struggling this season, and there's no way the Bulls drop a game to a struggling team at home. Milwaukee over at Orlando. No explanation. Minnesota over the Pelicans. Pelicans are atrocious. Phoenix at San Antonio. Phoenix is coming off of a back-to-back. They play Denver the day before at Phoenix, so they Antonio. You'd think that it's San Antonio. I'm going with the Suns. I was gonna try to say something, but I was just like, don't say something stupid. Just go with the freaking Suns. Jazz over Grizzlies. Utah's tough place to play in. I think Jazz take it, and Luke Walton's an awful coach, so we go with the Sixers. Kings are already disappointing this season, and I just think the Sixers are a better coach team overall, so I think they take that game on the road in Sacramento.
All right, those are our game picks for Monday, and I think that will about wrap it up for this episode. Thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, follow the Instagram page. We were supposed to do a fantasy basketball update, but a lot of stuff happened behind the scenes that are probably cut out and edited from this. So
We hope
will,
so.
so we will do it next episode. But yeah,
We apologize.
it's okay. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
See ya.